Hey guys, welcome to the Overtime Sports Show. Good Friday edition. What's up, man? It's AV, and wait a minute, Mr. Christian Mingle, right? Christian Mingle.
OnlyFans, Christian Mingle, Holly Madison, or whatever her name is.
Now you don't say Holly Madison on Easter weekend. It just don't seem to go together. Yeah, no, you got to stick with the Christian Mingle. Yes, it's hot. Amen. Okay. It's all about him this weekend.
Yes, it is. God is good.
What's going down?
Yes, indeed. Hey, we got a big weekend, baby. Big weekend.
Yeah, man, it's been a big weekend. Listen, 21-18. That's not a score. That's how many people have totaled up in the Deshaun Watson civil case he's dealing with these masseuses. So we're going to get into that. It looked like we're about to hit another tough point in Houston sports. One of our superstars may be on the verge of leaving us one more time. And they finally came out with what happened with Tiger Woods. Well, at least they know. But are they going to reveal it to us?
Well, they said they weren't going to tell us. That's what the cops had said. They weren't going to release the crash details.
The NBA, it's time to ball, baby. The Rockets seem to be in a little hole as usual, but I think it's according to plan, and I'm not mad at it at all. And we got to get into this big three conversation as well today. So we got a lot to unpack as we get into it today. But you know what time it is, homie?
Yes, it is. Time for the NBA, brought to you by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle, the spirit of the NBA. So we're going to definitely get into that. And, these Brooklyn Nets, man, are they just trying to stack up on everybody? What's the deal here?
Listen, man, you think, Brooklyn, the big three. Do you think it's the all-time greatest big three that Brooklyn has? I know we got James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Durant. Durant has been out for a little while, but they added Blake Griffin. And, of course, you get LaMarcus Aldridge now. So they got two big men who are kind of interchangeable with each other that they can change out and play. So do you think that this big three is probably one of the greatest big threes of all time?
I think the roster with the different all-stars on there as far as LaMarcus Aldridge and all them, I think that's one of the deepest rosters I've ever seen of star-studded talent. Now, some of them guys are not as good as they were back then, but they still can ball. LaMarcus Aldridge can still do some things down low. So, I think it's probably one of the best ones I've seen, man.
Now, when you compare it to LeBron's Miami big three, Chris Bosh, of course you remember Dwayne Wade and LeBron, and they even also had Ray Allen for a short period of time on the team. So when you put LeBron's Miami big three against the Nets big three, Victoria, you got to chime in on this. Do you think that they could beat New Jersey?
What I like about Miami,
what
I like about Miami's big three was they were all pretty much in their prime when that was going down.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty much in their prime, except Ray Allen, but he's the one that put that dagger in them Spurs hearts. But now Harden's in his prime. Durant, coming off an injury, but he's Kyrie's in his prime. So I don't know, man. I think the overall roster, I would go with Brooklyn's overall roster.
Brooklyn overall roster? I don't know. I mean, the Miami squad was balling, man. They had a good team back in the day. But I gotta take you even further than that. Boston's big three. You remember Boston's big three?
Ray
Allen? No, Ray Allen.
Oh, you doing the new one? That's the other one.
Yeah. Kevin, we gonna go there. I'm just trying to walk you back.
Ray Allen. Paul Pierce.
Yes, because Paul could shoot. Ray Allen, that's self-explanatory. Ray could shoot you out the gym. And, of course, Kevin Durant, he was strong on the boards. I'll put him against LaMarcus Aldridge. I'll put him against Blake Griffin. Heck, I even put him against LeBron and the Lakers today. I think Kevin could hold his own.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. Kevin Garnett was a beast, man. He was, 17 out of high school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was doing big things, man. So NBA, man, I mean, I know our Rockets – We almost beat the Brooklyn Nets. Speaking of Brooklyn, we came close. I think we were down by 7 or 8 with like 3 minutes to go or something like that in the game. And then I turned it back around and I looked up and then we lost by 15. I said, what the heck happened?
Man, the Rockets were winning by 20-something points.
I didn't see that, but I saw the last four. I turned it in.
Yes, the Rockets were up by 20 and we stopped hitting everything in the building, which I said before, I'm a 100% Rocket fan. I love the Houston Rockets. But I want to get that top 3 draft pick, baby. So
right now,
we're doing real good. Yeah, we're doing good. We play the Boston Celtics tonight. Hopefully we can get off this losing streak and win one game tonight against the Celtics. But if not, I'm not mad. Listen, I got my eyes on the prize. If you're not going to make the playoffs, I'd rather you just bottom out like I've been saying for the past few weeks. Bottom out and let's get that top draft pick in the draft because we need it in rebuilding this team. I'm still a fan of the young talent that we got on this team. I think we're going to do real good. But right now, Rockets.
And the funny thing is you actually called it a couple of weeks ago when you said, Oladipo need to go and all these. Mm-hmm. Eric Gordon's still here. I know you said he needs to go too. I think he needs to stay, but.
Listen, Depot is down in Miami showing out right now, but we're not going to get into that. He had a great game last night, even though he fouled out. But he had a great game with Miami and the Heat. But I'm excited about this. I talked about it as well. You and I discussed it. Final Four is here. NCAA Final Four weekend. The Cougars survive. H-Town is in the building. The Texas two-step. The Houston Cougars are taking on the Baylor Bears. Of course, Baylor is the number 1 seed. Houston is the number 2 seed. Gonzaga is the overall number 1 seed. They're going to play UCLA from the Pac-12. But U of H and Baylor, man, who you got? Defense, offense.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I'm like what they say. If you're a bettor, you can't bet with your heart. But I gotta go with my heart, man. I gotta go U of H, man. I mean, I know Baylor is a beast, but I gotta go with the hometown team, man. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, so if I was a betting man, I'd probably put all the money on U of H, man. But some people would tell me I'd be crazy to do that, but you know what? I got to go with my heart, my hometown team, man.
First time since Fly Samba Jamma way back in the 80s when I was a young man with Akeem and Clyde, Michael Young, and all the guys. But listen, Dejan Jarreau is showing out to me. He's been the MVP for the Cougars along with Grimes. You can't get him. Sasser showed up, of course, in the last game. He scored almost 20 points for the Cougars. He did real good. So if these guys can really play defense, because everybody gets nervous when they watch the Cougars, because if you haven't been watching them all season, you don't know that they really just have about 3 shooters on the team. So they're going to go cold somewhere in the game. But the way that they crash the boards, you'll see 3 or 4 people going for rebounds. They know how to position themselves to get it. The way that they play defense, I'm like, yeah, these Cougars going to do it. So don't get nervous. Just stick around. They play close. I'm going with the Cougars to win this. Go U of H, Pablo. That's right. Go Cougars.
Yeah, that defense is something else. And I finally like that the national media started giving the Cougars some love, because they weren't giving no love getting to the Sweet 16. But then they start talking about that defense. They're saying, man, they're playing some killer defense, stifling defense. Jarreau is one of the best defense. Like they say, he's just all over, blocking shots, just doing everything as a guard,
Yep. 4:14 p.m. tomorrow. The game kicks off between Houston and Baylor. And then after that, Gonzaga. And, of course, from the Pac-12, UCLA. I got Gonzaga winning that game. I'm expecting them to be in the finals. Gonzaga and Houston. That's what my heart is. That's what I'm going with.
And our station bracket, man, I came close. My Final Four, I had Baylor, Houston, Gonzaga, Michigan. But obviously UCLA knocked Michigan out. Yeah. I think that was the first time I ever got that close.
Yeah, I ain't had no.
I didn't want to get part of something.
Yeah, I didn't have any faith in Michigan. I knew that they were going to stumble along the way. Hall of Fame coach, North Carolina's basketball coach, Roy Williams retired, which was shocking to me. I was surprised that he stepped down. Even though they made the tournament this year, Roy decided that it was just time for him to bow out. So he's a Hall of Fame coach, top 5 winning coach in the NCAA. Great job at North Carolina. I love the Tar Heels, and I think, now that the coaching opportunity is open, it's a lot of great people out there to get an opportunity to coach him. But you got to put Roy at the top, man. He's one of the best coaches in the league. Won the title, of course, with Kansas City and with North Carolina. So big ups to Roy Williams, man, on retiring. Go North Carolina.
Yeah, and speaking of Kansas, I don't know if we saw that today, that Bill Self, he just signed a lifetime contract to say the basketball coach at Kansas, which is kind of weird because there's a lot of investigations going on in that basketball program. But they said after every year, he's going to be guaranteed another year. So he's basically got a lifetime contract, regardless of what the NCAA and the investigations come out. He got a lifetime contract. So no matter how bad he did or wrongdoings, they gave him a lifetime contract.
And that's amazing. I'd like to sign me up for one of those. Listen, Greg, I ain't gonna lie. If North Carolina came and kind of took one of our coaches off of the Houston Cougars team, I wouldn't be mad at that. Kellen Sampson in particular, because he deserves an opportunity to coach, because he is, really, you can put him and Coach Kevin Sampson together as far as the leaders of the Houston Cougars basketball team, because he's an integral part of the team. And I think he's well deserving of an opportunity. So I don't want North Carolina to do it, but if the guys come knocking, man, I wish Kellen Sampson the best, and I think it'll be a good opportunity for him to take that. So it's going to be good. And, of course, got a shout-out to the ladies. We got Stanford playing South Carolina. And, of course, I don't know how UConn does it every year, but UConn and number 3 Arizona will play in the ladies' Final Four. So I'm picking in that as well. Stanford, they got a great team this year. And South Carolina's balling too. But I just got a feeling UConn is going to be in the championship one more time.
UConn has been in some tough Final Fours the last few years. Obviously, last year was canceled, but before that, when they lost last-second shots to Mississippi State and then against Baylor, I mean, I hate to see a team lose the way they lost when that was a clear foul. I mean, I wanted UConn to win. I mean, I'm okay with both teams winning, but I think you got to call a foul in that situation. There's no way you cannot call a foul in that situation. I mean, it was a bang bang, but it was a bang bang. Like she hit her across the face and the arm.
Oh, it was a foul, no doubt. It was.
Yeah.
I think with the technology that we have, man, go back and look at it.
They need to change that. They need to change that.
Yes.
Game.
Yes, the game is on. This is literally the game is on the line.
Yeah.
You want to be able to challenge that.
You still have to hit the free throws, but still give her a chance. So you got to give them. You can't just be a non-call a foul on that. That just blew my mind right there. But
yeah, it's tough, man. Listen, Tiger Woods. We talked about it. Finally came out. The information on what happened. The county sheriff said he wasn't going to release because it was a personal matter with Tiger Woods. Was letting me know it probably was some kind of medical situation that Tiger was dealing with at the time of the crash. Because remember, the officer on the scene said that Tiger Woods didn't even remember driving, let alone crashing. So that sounds like, to me, just my opinion, that it was probably some medical emergency that Tiger Woods was dealing with.
Are you talking about like when he got arrested a few years ago when he was Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm talking about when he got arrested. It wasn't like ODing or illegal drugs. He took medication and it made him sleepy. I mean, could it be something like that? Or I mean, because I don't think Tiger Woods is no drug addict. I don't think Tiger Woods, I think it was prescription. But did he take it when he shouldn't have taken it? It was early morning. I still think he was on his cell phone or something, looking down. I mean, that's what I think, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when they say that they won't release it because it's a personal matter, in my opinion, that just leads me to believe that it probably, and it could be just as you said, it could have been a medical situation with Tiger. He could have taken a prescription or taken something that just kind of compromised him and put him in a bad position. But I just like the fact that for once, man, they're not releasing some information. I'm excited about that.
And then another thing too, with this injury, I mean, we're gonna talk to Chris Como in a minute, the Tiger Woods old swing coach. But with kind of an injury, man, in golf, you put so much weight on your ankles and everything you do with your legs. I just don't know if he can come back. I mean, I'm sure he can play again, but is he going to be the same Tiger Woods? Is he going to be able to compete? Is he going to want to go out there and finish not making the cut? Or do you just say, look, I'm Tiger Woods, one of the greatest ever. Let me just go ahead and call it quits. Or do I keep trying? What do you do?
Well, in my book, he's going to keep trying because he's Tiger Woods. I mean, when you got that innate nature in you and you're just a person who's an athlete, you're a person who's been a winner all your life. You've been taught to win. For me, he's just going to give it one more shot. I don't think he could have peace in his mind if he just gave it up right now.
Yeah, but not only that too, but think about R.I.P. Kobe. When Kobe was around his last year, you know what? This is it, man. I'm not playing the way I know I can play, and I need to call it quits. So Kobe realized that, during the year when he said, you know what, this is it. I'm not the same Kobe. So Tiger, I can't see Tiger playing. Yeah, he's going to get exemptions and play on different four. But if you're missing the cut and just not even competing, I mean, when is enough is enough. I mean, I don't know if he's going to say that, but at least he's going to give it a try, I would think.
Yeah, you got to think about with Kobe. I mean, the year before you tear your ACL, you're trying to bounce back from that. The older you get, the more difficult it is. But I think, like I said, with Tiger, I just think it's because of that drive that's within him. If he doesn't try this last time, I don't think he'll be at peace with that decision now, unless the doctors just tell him that it is just impossible for you to do it. Your back is just really killing you, your leg, because he has a major leg injury. You can't stand to do anything. Of course, you're not in a position to do it. But I think just in his nature, he would love to do that. And speaking of scandals, Lord have mercy.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, we already lost. Listen, J.J. Watt is gone. James Harden cried his way out of Houston. Deshaun Watson, he wants to leave H-Town. People forget that George Springer left the Astros in free agency because they wouldn't offer money. Now we get to the beginning of the season with our Houston Astros. They kicked it off yesterday against the Oakland A's. And before the game, Carlos Correa says that the offer that the Astros offered him was really just an insult, that he's looking to go to a free agency.
You know why, though, right? Because Francisco Lindor set the bar. He's 10 years, 300+ million. So they offered Carlos Correa 4-year, 160, something like that.
No, it was 5 years, like 125. It's basically $25 million a year.
Yeah. So Lindor gets 10 years, 340 million or whatever, some astronomical number. So now Correa and all these other shortstops are thinking, okay, all right, so I could be in that category.
But here's the issue with Correa. They're thinking about, they don't want to, first of all, the Astros don't want to do, the GM Click came out and he says not looking to do long-term deals. They want to continue to negotiate with Correa, but they're not looking to give him a 10-year deal. They wanted to do just something in the range of 5 to 6 years. And, of course, they backed up 1 year and tried to offer him more money, and he turned that down. But with him, I think at the end of the day, I think it's because of his past injury history that they don't want to put, like Lindor, 10 years into Carlos Correa.
I think he's worth it, man. I think he's worth every penny. I mean, he's one of my favorite players. Last night they showed out. Bregman hit a home run. They beat the A's, which, by the way, the A's and the rat, the snitch, Mr. Mike Fiers, for some reason he didn't play against us last year, and then right before the season starts, we have 7 games against the A's in 10 days. It just so happens that he's on the 10-day IL with an injury, so we don't see him in 10 days. So
you won't see him this year.
Yeah,
you bet this.
They're definitely either him or the organization is saying, "Look, I know you're probably saying I want to pitch, but we're telling you I don't think it's a good idea."
No, they won't see him. You won't see that. I agree with Pablo. He says, I think they're waiting to see what Carlos Correa does during the season. Yep. And I think that's a part of it, too. They want to see if he produced, because last year he produced in the playoffs. He had a struggle throughout the season. But I'm thinking, like I said, it's twofold. I think it deals with the injury. And, of course, they want to wait and see how he produces this offseason. But I just think the Astros are backing themselves into a corner again, because once you let these guys go to free agency, you're not going to be able to offer these guys. Somebody else will come along, i.e. the Yankees, and offer him 10 years, $300 million. And, of course, Correa would bail out of here in a hot second, and then we'll be rebuilding all over again. But so far, so good. As you said last night, the Astros got off to a great start, so I'm looking forward to the Astros competing this season and doing some great things. But we got this crazy together. If
I'm Carlos Correa, I would take 5 years, 160, 180, 6 years, 200, because you got to think about it, too. His wife is from Laredo, down south. I mean, she loves it here. He loves it here. I just think he's trying to. I really think it was a tactic to see what Francisco Lindor was going to get, and that's why he. Now, because if he would have took that offer and then Lindor signs that big deal, they're looking like you big dummy. So I think that. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I think Carlos is going to stay.
Well, I tell you what, they're gonna have to offer him $30 million because he's not staying for 25. Yeah. And the way that he says, listen, this has really not been a negotiation between the Astros and myself. This is just something they offered on the table and we declined. So my thing is, you got to at least offer him $30 million. If you're gonna do a 4 or 5 year deal, offer the man $30 million and put it on the table and see if he want to take it. If he turn it down, then that's up to him. All right, the Astros on the series with the Oakland A's, I think they can go into Oakland and sweep them. And I'm looking forward to a great start for our Houston Astros. Listen, man, the NFL has come out and the owners have voted for a 17-game season.
I like it because they're actually taking off a game off the I hated that 4-game preseason. Don't be crazy because first of all, I didn't like the fact that if you bought a ticket to the preseason game, you weren't getting a discount, although none of the players were playing. You weren't getting a discount. You see all the people that were going to be working at McDonald's in construction in 2 weeks, and then you're still paying full price for a ticket. So knock out one of the preseason games, add a regular season game. I know some of the players didn't like that, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like football, so I love more games. So I mean, that's just me.
Well, an opportunity, and we'd like you guys to chime in as well, like, share, and chime in your comments on this. Do you think it's a good or bad idea? I mean, of course, we would lose a preseason game, which everybody likes because we get an extra week of football. But at the same time, None of the players have come out and said that they like this idea.
Because the injury factor.
The injuries, yes.
Body, so, I don't know. But Paulo makes a good point, too. Speaking of football, with Deshaun, what's going to happen? Alex Smith is a free agent. I know we signed Tyrod Taylor. I don't know. Alex Smith, what do you think? I mean,
it's been a rumor today that's been coming out. And, of course, no traction has been made of it. But the rumor has been out there today that they think that it would be a good match between Alex Smith signing with the Texans because he has history with our head coach. So, I mean, he can't do any bad. I mean, any way it goes, it's just going to be a season where you have a veteran quarterback comes in. If we trade Deshaun, hopefully we can get a rookie in here. It's just a bridge gap between Alex Smith. I don't think the Texans, if you had Alex Smith, Tyrod Taylor, if we win 5 games, 6 games a season, I think that's a blessing if we're able to just get 5 or 6 wins for this season alone. But he's a veteran quarterback. He'll come in, manage the game for us, and get us a couple of victories if you do so. But I just think, man, you're going to crowd the room with Taylor and Alex Smith in the name of competition, but you basically almost got one and the same with what you get out of both of those quarterbacks. So to me, hey, the more the merrier. I'm not mad with it. If Deshaun's not coming back, which is probably the way it's looking right now.
I want Deshaun back.
I want him.
And did you see that he came out with he had like a whole bunch of ladies saying no, he's never done that before. So it's gonna go back and forth for a while, but I hope Deshaun stays. Still one of my favorite players, but we'll see.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Deshaun, as you said, it was already 21 women. Tony Busby said who filed civil suits against Deshaun Watson, and then of course Rusty Harden decided this earlier this week. He came out with 18 women who said that they never had a bad experience with Deshaun. Now, of the 18, attorney Rusty Harden said that Deshaun had seen these 18 massage therapists at least 150 different times. And out of the 150 different times with these 18, he says none of them said they had a bad experience. He was nothing but professional. So you got 21 with Tony Busby, 21 ladies who said that there was some form of sexual harassment from Deshaun Watson, compared to the 18 who says that they had nothing but a good experience with Deshaun Watson. So you know what this does for me from a legal standpoint? It creates doubt. So if you're sitting on the jury, if this goes to court, if you're sitting on the jury, you got 21 who said they had a bad experience, 18 who said they had a good experience with Deshaun. So in my mind, that leaves you with doubt, and everybody just basically almost go their separate way.
I'm going with Deshaun.
You going where with Deshaun?
I'm rolling with Deshaun. I ain't going nowhere with him, but I mean, if you want to take in that Lambo, I'll go with him there. But as far as believing, I'm at this point until I see it in court and proven guilty, he's innocent to me. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, for us as people, because when you look at it from a legal standpoint compared to just the everyday common person like we are, the first thing you notice is 39 women. If you add the Sports Illustrated story, that's 40 different massage therapists, which
he loves women. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean,
no, which is not uncommon because if you go through an NFL season, 16 or 17 games, you're gonna need a massage the way our offensive line was not blocking for him.
Yeah. So and then somebody brought up the fact too that couldn't you just have one massage therapist? Yeah, you could, but how she's not booked up that day or something? You got to have people on call. So I don't think it's out of the ordinary for athletes to have more than one masseuse or several of them. Because I mean, even in different cities, if you're in a different city, I mean, it's just not uncommon. I wouldn't think it's uncommon. So.
Well, the Texans came out this week. We finally heard from Texans GM Nick Caserio, who says the organization is, quote unquote, taking the claims very seriously. And of course, they're standing by as the NFL is conducting its own investigation. So Nick Caserio said, this is not the nature of our organization. We brought in a bunch of new players. We changed the atmosphere here at the Texans camp. And we're taking a very serious look at these allegations. Yeah. And if these allegations are true, you know what's going to happen next with them. Because this was the first time, I think, within a couple of months that the Texans finally started answering the phone and inquiring on trading Deshaun, because I believe that they were looking to trade him right before the draft. And this kind of messed it up with all these allegations. But now Nick Caserio says, we're gonna take a very serious look into the situation. And I hope, G-Man, that what the Texans don't do if they trade him, I hope that they don't take a cheap deal and trade in Deshaun Watson and we get screwed again.
If the track record shows, then we're gonna get nothing for him, because that's what we've been getting for all these players. Bernard Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Nothing in return for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like our motto. Like, we give away the best players and get nothing in return. I mean, it's like,
I know. Look at Miami. Miami is feasting right now. They have a better team than us and a better draft position. Yeah, they got a better draft position than us. And so if the Texans knew about this whole situation, should the Texans be held accountable as well?
I think you would agree from the NFL standpoint. They're probably going to say, yeah, you guys are going to be fined or whatever you're going to do, or take away draft picks, because the NFL is always going to look at the organization first. Yeah,
we don't have any draft picks. Please don't take that. So for you, a better fit for Deshaun Watson. For me, I think if we can trade him to Miami and feast off of those they have 2 first-round draft picks, several second-round picks. If we can trade him to Miami, I think it'll be good. But, of course, Carolina has been biting at the chumps. Carolina wants him, and Vegas is always out there, of course. Carolina is really trying to position themselves to get Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I hope he stays, but you know what? We got to get something for him. If he has to go because of all this stuff going on, we got to get at least three first-round picks, two at the minimum.
Mm-hmm. And it'll spread out over the years. Yeah, it'll spread out over the years. So I'm excited about it. Listen, don't forget, tomorrow, 4:14 p.m., the Houston Cougars will take on the Baylor. But I'm excited. I feel, for me with Phi Slamma Jamma back in the days, I was so heartbroken when they lost not only to North Carolina State, when they lost to Georgetown and Patrick Ewing. And remember, we also lost to Michael Jordan when he was with the North Carolina Tar Heels in the Final Four. And so I just think we kind of overdue, for H-Town to bring a trophy home, for the Cougars to bring a national championship home. And I think it would definitely be good for them to do that. So hopefully we can get it, get into the championship game after tomorrow.
Yeah, and then I believe on next week's show, we're going to have a text-to-win contest through the Overtime Sports Show to win a U of H Wilson basketball that's embossed with the whole U of H stats and all that stuff. So next week, we'll have it on the show next week, a picture of it, and your chance to definitely hook up. So, yeah, man. So I'm excited, man. The Cougars tomorrow. It's going to be a great Final Four. And,
Hey. All right, we're ready. Listen, man, are you going Easter egg hunting? Are you going to or you be doing some Easter egg?
I did the ultimate sin last week, man. I went to the casino.
As usual.
And I told myself every day of the last 2 weeks before I went, I said, when you're up 200, 300, get out, walk away, come back. When you're up 200, get out. What did I do? I was up 900, and I stayed playing, and I lost it all.
That's because you were part of that
roulette.
What was that?
Roulette.
What was that? That Madison thing that you said you were part of?
Madison, but you know why? Man, the lights just went off in here.
I don't know what's going on with you. See what happened when you blowing your money?
So and I learned this the hard way. They call roulette the devil's game. You know why?
Yeah, the lights just went out on you too, so that could be a sign.
They call it devil's game because you add up all the numbers on the roulette wheel, it comes out to 666.
666, yes.
And it got me, boy. I'm happy that my wife on her birthday weekend, she hit a jackpot of $3,200 and then she hit another $750 on another slot machine, and then she hit another $450 on another slot machine. So it was a good weekend for her birthday weekend.
Well, listen, man, they said that the Texans' odds to win the Super Bowl are 150 to 1.
So you put
I don't know if you want to go down there and bet on your Texans to win the Super Bowl, man.
Nah.
You'll come out big, man.
Oh, yeah, you put $100 down. You're looking at 150 times 100, so yeah.
You'll come out nice. You're a loyal fan. Come on with it.
Nah, I think I'll keep taking my chances at roulette.
All right.
I promise you, the next time I go, which is gonna be in about a week or so, I'm gonna come on the show and tell you I won. I walked away, and a friend of mine, Mark Klein, who owns Klein Fine Jewelers, he was standing there next to me. He was like, "G-Man, Rob, cash out." I'm like, "No, I'm good. Cash out." And I kept playing, I would lose. He goes, man, cash out. And I wouldn't do it. So finally he said, if I didn't like you, I would have punched you in the face. Because I left it all back on the table.
We're going to leave it right there. Pablo, thank you so much for your comments today, and everybody who has chimed in on the Overtime Sports Show. We do it every Friday. We're a little early today, of course, for Good Friday, so we can go plant some eggs and do some other stuff in celebration of this weekend, Easter weekend. And we hope you guys enjoy your Good Friday and enjoy your Easter weekend. G-Man, let them know how they can keep up with you. Start with the Christian Mingle first. Start with the Christian Mingle.
G-Man 979, Tinder, G-Man 979. We won't go with the Ashley Madison because it's
not today.
And of course, Snapchat, G-Man 979, Instagram, G-Man 979, Twitter, G-Man 979, and Facebook, G-Man Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Of course, got to thank Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. For sponsor of the show. And yeah, man. So we'll see you tomorrow at the Drive-In Comedy Show. For those that got tickets for that, it's gonna be a
woo!
Show. And I'm also gonna just real quick. I'm gonna be live on Facebook. So if you didn't if you didn't get tickets to the Drive-In Comedy Show, I'm gonna actually show a lot of the comedians on stage. So I'm gonna give you a little peek of what's happening. Yeah. So yeah, I'll give it live.
Listen, keep it short now. Don't be doing the whole show because I will tell on you. Keep it short. I don't want you to gamble. Follow me at Faith and Fame with AV. I'm across the board from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. Follow us at Faith and Fame with AV, and of course, Magic 102.1. For the Overtime Sports Show, he's G-Man. I'm AV. Good Friday, y'all. We'll see you next week. There you go. That's how